Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, Jay, we do have big news. A deal has been struck between Errol Spence Jr. and Sebastian Fundora. And apparently this is going to take place in October in Dallas, Cowboy Stadium. And so, Jay, you and I talked about this when Errol Spence got into the ring with Sebastian Fundora. As a matter of fact, we actually talked about it prior to that when Errol Spence tweeted that he was interested in taking on the winner between Sebastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu. And we said that there was a reason why Errol Spence was actually stating this. There's no reason and there's no way that Errol Spence is just stating this and going to show up to the winner of that fight and challenge the winner. There's no way that was going to occur unless Errol Spence already had an indication that he would become the number one contender for that particular title, or he was going to have the opportunity to do so. Now, we reported, I think this is probably about a week and a half ago. I don't even think anybody else had reported this at the time, Jay, but we reported that Errol Spence had been elevated to the number one position for the WBC, which was an indicator to us that he was going to get the opportunity to fight for that title. Now, we also mentioned that as the WBO seems to favor Terrence Crawford, the WBC seems to favor Errol Spence, and that was the reason why we were going to get that opportunity. Not only that, I felt that the promoter of Sebastian Fundora Sampson was not really in favor for a fight with Terrence Crawford. He said that Terrence Crawford didn't bring a whole lot to the table. And, you know, Terrence is going to get the opportunity to prove that. Yeah, I think everybody knows how I feel about Terrence Crawford in terms of his drawing power. And he'll get the opportunity to prove that on August 3rd. So I'm not going to go there. But at the end of the day, it was being said for a reason. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that are upset about this. Specifically Terrence Crawford fans, because they believe that Terrence Crawford should get the opportunity to unify those titles, Jay. And that's a fair push. But the other side of that is that Terrence Crawford apparently is going to get the opportunity to face Canelo Alvarez, according to many Terrence Crawford supporters and fans. So if that is the case, and what Turkey Al-Sheikh wants, Turkey Al-Sheikh gets, because apparently, according to Terrence Crawford fans, he rules the absolute world. He can do everything. He moves mountains. He can jump a single building in a single bound, Jay. They can do it all, just like Terrence Crawford. So if that's the case, then clearly Terrence Crawford has bigger fish to fry, and they shouldn't be concerned about this fight. But it'll be interesting to see what we see from people in the comment section and some of the pushback and some of the criticism that we get. But I welcome it, Jay. I welcome that criticism each and every day, because I have no problem with that as long as it's constructive criticism. So, Jay, what is your take on this, the fact that we now know that Errol Spence will be in the ring with Sebastian Fundora in October?
Yeah, I mean, the writing was pretty much on the wall early on. You know, you could kind of see it setting up, and then with Spence getting in the ring with Fundora, it was just a matter of time. I know Sampson had said they were going to honor their fight rematch with Tim Tszyu, but Tim Tszyu's fighting in August. So if he's fighting in August, on August 3rd, then he's not going to be ready to fight in October. You know, that's 2 months later. You know, depending on how that fight what happens in that fight. Same thing with Bud. So I mean, we saw what's going to happen. Saw this was going to happen. Also, like to your point, you mentioned that Bud's rumored to be fighting Canelo either December or January. So it doesn't make sense for him to try to fight October and January or December. You know, it doesn't make sense. You know, I know they want Bud to fight anybody, and get everything right away, but he's getting a shot at one belt on August 3rd. He wins that fight. Then he gets according to the Bud fans, he gets a huge money fight against Canelo in December, January for undisputed at 168. So hey, what else does he need? You know, Fundora shouldn't have to sit around and wait for him to fight. So I see what's going on with this. I think it's definitely going to sell out. You know, AT&T Spence has always done well at AT&T Center, AT&T anyway. So I mean, he'll do well. Now I was looking at the dates. Mike Capinger said that, you know, it depends on the availability. So Dallas only has one home game in the month of October. They got a bye, and 2 other games are away. Their only home game is on October 13th. So that leaves the weekend before that, which would be October 5th. The weekend after that, which would be October 19th. And then you have October 26th as well as the Saturday nights that possibly it could be held. So I mean, this is making out for a really good year of boxing. You know, people can feel like, oh, he skipped the line. You can't skip the line when Bud has already moved past that line. in a sense. Bud is already getting a fight for a 154 for a belt, and he's potentially fighting at 168. So I mean, hell, Bud can only fight one person at a god doggone time. I don't care how good he is. So let it play out. We'll see how this works out. I mean, I remember a while back, maybe like 3 years ago, before before Bud and Spence fought, Fundora was kind of hesitant about fighting Spence back then. But now, I mean, he's taking a loss. Spence is taking a loss. Why not? This is a big money fight for him. They're both left-handers, both southpaws. So I mean, I think it's gonna make for an intriguing fight. Spence don't mess around with who he fights, though. He doesn't take tune-ups, and he's sticking to that mantra. Although I don't necessarily agree with it, after his last fight. But we'll see. And we also see, what's going to be up and who's going to be in his corner to help him out, prepare for Fundora. But all in all, I think this is going to make it up for a good year of boxing, and I'm okay with this fight with everything where it is right now. Some other fighters that are in the WC rankings, they're going to feel slighted because they got jumped. I understand why they would feel that way, but it's all about, like you said, some organizations going to have a more favoritism towards the ones that's going to put more cheeks in seats, and that's Spence right now.
You know what's interesting? I wonder if the WBO is actually going to strip Sebastian Fundora. And the reason why I'm asking that is because, Terrence Crawford went ahead and didn't want to wait for Sebastian Fundora, so he went ahead and scheduled the fight. So he's fighting on August 3rd. Regardless, Terrence Crawford wouldn't be able to turn around and fight, in October. So if Sebastian Fundora is taking a fight in the interim, and then plans to fight Terrence Crawford at the beginning of the year, I wonder maybe they won't strip him. They can make that argument, right? That you didn't want to wait; you wanted to go ahead and fight, and so Sebastian Fundora should have the ability to fight and not have to wait until the beginning of next year to fight just you. So maybe they can make that argument and say, okay, he fought Errol Spence. He wants to keep his titles. He fought Errol Spence, and the plans to fight Terrence Crawford next in, like, let's say January or something like that. Then legitimately, he may be able to hold on to the titles, and they may not strip him. And then if Errol beats him, that sets up a rematch between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Just a thought. I don't know if that's going to actually happen, but I just thought that was interesting when I thought about it. Maybe he might have a case in terms of why he shouldn't be stripped. So I think it's all interesting, Jay. We'll see what ends up happening. You guys let us know what you think in the comment section in regards to this particular fight. I know it's going to be a lot of pushback relative to Terrence Crawford fans, and that's okay. I can understand that push, and I could also understand the push from Errol Spence fans in regards to why he's getting the opportunity to face Sebastian Fundora. We've already stated what we believe should have happened, so I don't want to see anybody.
They're not going to hear that.
Whatever, it is what it is. But let us know what you think. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, and we are